Cambridge International School, the SUA, a vision inspired by excellence. Hello students, this is Kamaljeet Sharma, your accountancy teacher. This session is related with the subject of accountancy for grade 11th commerce. Students, before starting the new topic, let's recap. Till date, we have completed the following topics. On 9th April, we started with basic accounting terms. These basic accounting terms are also called accounting terminology. These accounting terms are very much important to study accountancy. On 10th April, we have continued with the same topic of basic accounting terms. On 11th April, basic accounting terms continued. On 13th April, we have completed this topic of basic accounting terms. On 14th April, we started with the new topic, that is generally accepted accounting principles. They are also known as GAAP. These accounting principles are the basis of accountancy. On 15th April, we continued with GAAP, that is generally accepted accounting principles, and completed it, and also started accounting standards. They are also known as AS. Accounting standards are the guidelines issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. On 16th April, we completed the topic of International Financial Reporting Standards, that is IFRS, and also completed a topic of Basis of Accounting, that is on cash basis and on accrual basis. This basis of accounting is chapter number 4 in your book Double Entry Bookkeeping by T.S. Garewal. Today we will start the chapter number 5, that is accounting equation. Student, this chapter is the first practical chapter of your syllabus and very much important from examination point of view. Dear students, now we got familiar with certain accounting terms like assets, liabilities, capital, revenue, expenses, etc. Also by now we must have realized that business and businessman are distinct and business is a separate entity. In this topic we will study that there is a predefined relation among assets, liabilities and capital which never gets disturbed despite of innumerable business transactions. In other words, we can say that total of assets is always equals to total of liabilities and capital, and this relation remains intact despite lot of transactions taking place in the business. We can write this relation as assets equals to liabilities plus capital. Before analyzing this relation, we will once again go through the meanings of terms like assets, liabilities and capital. Assets, those valuable items which are owned by the business and help in smooth running of the business are called assets. The term asset is of wider importance. It includes those items that can easily be converted in cash and items which are helping the business in generating the revenue. Assets are of following types. The first one is fixed assets. Those assets which are acquired for long term and help in smooth running of the business are called fixed assets. Examples of fixed assets are plant and machinery, land and building, leaseholds, furniture, vehicles, patents, copyrights, and trademarks, etc. Next one is current assets. Assets which are purchased for the purpose of reselling and which can easily be converted in cash are called current assets. These assets keep on changing in a very short period of time. Examples of current assets are cash, bank balance, debtors, bills receivable, stock, etc. Next type of asset is tangible assets. Those assets which can be touched and seen are called tangible assets. Tangible assets can be fixed as well as current assets. Next is intangible assets. Assets which cannot be seen and touched are called intangible assets. Examples of intangible assets are patents, trademarks, goodwill, prepaid expenses, accrued incomes, etc. Next is nominal assets. As the name suggests, these type of assets have non-real value and existence. Basically, these assets represent expenditure which is likely to benefit the business in more than one accounting year. Let us take an example. If a business spends rupees 50,000 on advertisement and expects its benefit will flow for 4 years, in such a case, rupees 50,000 will not be treated as an expense for the first year, but rupees 12,500, that is 50,000 is to be spread over in 4 years. So after dividing 50,000 with 4, we'll get 12,500. This 12,500 shall be treated as an expense for the first year, while rupees 37,500 will be shown in the balance sheet and will be treated as nominal asset. In the same way, rupees 12,500 will be treated as an expense for the second year and rupees 25,000 will be shown in balance sheet and so on. So we can say that rupees 37,500 in the first year and rupees 25,000 in the second year are shown in the balance sheet pending allocation as an expense and have no real value. Other examples of nominal assets are discount on issue of debentures, preliminary expenses on formation of company, etc. Now we will revise the term liabilities. In the balance sheet, there are two sides, asset side and liabilities side. In liabilities side, both internal and external liabilities are shown. But in this point, we will study about external liabilities only. An external liability represents the amount payable to outsiders, outstanding payments for credit purchases to creditors, outstanding wages and salaries, pending repayment against loans, etc. are examples of external liabilities. External liabilities can be long-term as well as short-term in nature. The next term is capital, amount which is brought in by the businessman to commence the business and at any later stage is called capital. When profits are earned by the business, there is an increase in the capital, but in case of losses, capital is reduced. Also, when the businessman withdraws some amount for his personal purposes, then there is a reduction in the capital invested in business. Let us now analyze the accounting equation. Accounting equation is assets equals to capital or liabilities. We can also represent it as capital is equals to assets minus liabilities, or liabilities are equals to assets minus capital. as we have already mentioned that this equation never gets disturbed despite number of transactions. This is because every transaction affects two accounts. These two accounts may be of assets account. In this case, one account will get increased while other account will get reduced. For example, if furniture is acquired on cash, then there will be increase in the furniture account while cash account will stand reduced. On the other hand, if one account represents assets and other account represents liabilities, then in case of a transaction, either both the accounts will stand increased or both the accounts will stand reduced. We can understand this with the help of an example. Suppose Mohan is planning to start a business. In this case, there will be no equation because there is no business and there is no accounting. Now suppose that Mohan starts business with rupees 1 lakh. In this case, there is an increase in cash balance by rupees 1 lakh and capital account also comes into existence with rupees 1 lakh. So in this case, the accounting equation will be as follows. Assets represented by the cash is rupees 1 lakh. Capital that is invested by the owner, that is Mohan, rupees 1 lakh. There are no liabilities till date. So here cash is the only assets. So we can see here assets are equal to liabilities plus capital, 1 lakh each. Now we will study the effect of change in the value of any one of the component of the accounting equation on the other components. First we will start with increase in assets. If due to any business transaction there is an increase in the assets, it will have the effect as follows. There are three effects. Number one, any other asset will get reduced with the same amount. Or the second one is any liability will get increased with the same amount. Or third one is capital will stand increased with the same amount. We take an example of first case where there is increase in one asset while decrease in another asset. Suppose Mohan purchased goods worth rupees 40,000 in cash. Then in this case there is an increase in stock of goods which is a current asset while there is decrease in the cash balance which is also a current asset. The effect of this transaction of the equation is as follows. Our old equation is assets is equals to capital plus liabilities 1 lakh each on both the sides. Due to this transaction of rupees 40,000, the cash will reduced by rupees 40,000 and stock will increase by rupees 40,000. So the new equation would be cash rupees 60,000, stock rupees 40,000 is equals to capital of rupees 1 lakh. There is no liability till date. Therefore, assets are also 1 lakh and liabilities plus capital also rupees 1 lakh. Both sides each 1 lakh rupees. Second case is when there is increase in assets while increase in liabilities also. Now suppose Mohan purchases goods from Keshav on credit for rupees 25,000. In this case, the stock of goods will be increased by 25,000 while creditors will also stand increased with the same amount. The effect of this transaction on the accounting equation will be, our old equation is cash rupees 60,000, stock 40,000 is equals to capital rupees 1 lakh. There is no liability till date, but with the effect of this transaction of purchasing goods on credit, it will increase the stock with rupees 25,000 and also increases the creditors, means external liabilities would also increase. So the new equation would be there is no effect on cash, it remains 60,000, but since stock we have purchases the stock, so stock will added up to 25,000. The new stock will become 65,000. Capitals remains the same and there is increase in the external liability, that is rupees 25,000. So the final equation is assets are 1,25,000, capital rupees 1 lakh and external liability stands at rupees 25,000. Third effect is increase in assets and increase in capital. Suppose Mohan introduces rupees 20,000 in the business as additional capital. In this case, the cash balance will increased by 20,000 and capital will also increase by same amount. The effect of this transaction on the equation will be, we have an old equation where cash is 60,000, stock is 65,000, capital 1 lakh and liabilities rupees 25,000. With the introduction of additional capital of rupees 20,000, the cash will increases with rupees 20,000 and the new balance of cash would be 80,000. Stock will remain the same because this transaction have no effect over the stock. But since additional capital is invested by the proprietor, it must be added to the existing capital. The old capital is rupees 1 lakh and now it will become 1,20,000. And the liabilities remains the same because due to this transaction there will be no effect on the liabilities. So the final accounting equation would be assets rupees 1,45,000, capital rupees 1,20,000 and liabilities rupees 25,000. Now the second case is when there is increase in liabilities. If there is an increase in any liability due to any transaction, then it may have the following effects. First is increase in amount of any asset by the same amount, then decrease in the amount of any liability by the same amount, or decrease in amount of capital by the same amount. When there is increase in assets due to increase in liability. Suppose Mohan takes a loan of rupees 30,000 from the bank. In such a situation, the liabilities of the business will increase by rupees 30,000 because this amount will have to be repaid to the bank. On the other hand, the assets of the business will also increase in the form of cash. Now the equation will be as under. Old equation was cash is rupees 80,000, stock 65,000, capital 1,20,000 and creditor rupees 25,000. With this transaction, there will be an inflow of cash into the business. Cash will increase by rupees 25,000 and the new balance of cash would be 1,10,000. Stock remaining the same 65,000. Capital also remains same at rupees 120,000. Creditors same 25,000. But there is increase in another liability in the form of bank loan of rupees 30,000. So the final accounting equation, assets rupees 1,75,000 is equals to capital 120 and liabilities rupees 55,000. The next case is when there is increase in one liability and corresponding decrease in other liability. Now suppose that Mohan accepts a bill of rupees 10,000 of his creditor, Sohan. After this transaction, the creditors of the business will get reduced by 10,000 and other liability will get created in the form of bills payable for the same amount. Now the equation will be, we have an old equation of cash rupees 110, stock rupees 65, capital 1,20,000, creditors 25,000 and bank loan of rupees 30,000. With this transaction, the creditors would reduce by rupees 10,000. Creditor means a liability will decrease. So there is a deduction of rupees 10,000 from the value of creditors. The old creditors are rupees 25,000. After deduction of rupees 10,000, it comes to rupees 15,000. But there is an increase in another liability in the form of bills payable of rupees 10,000. So new equation would be cash remaining the same 1,10,000, stock 65,000, capital rupees 120. There is a change in the value of creditors and the value of bills payable with rupees 10,000. Bank loan remaining the same. Creditors would become 15,000 and there is another liability increases in the form of bills payable of rupees 10,000. So the final equation would be assets 175,000 and capital 1,20,000, liabilities 55,000. The next case is when there is increase in one liability and decrease in the amount of capital by the same amount. Suppose there is an expense outstanding, say salary due, but not paid rupees 2,000. After this transaction, capital will reduce by rupees 2,000. and increase in another liability in the form of outstanding salary. Now the equation will be, we have an old equation where cash is rupees 1,10,000, stock 65,000, capital 1,20,000, creditors 15,000, bank loan 30,000, bills payable 10,000. With this transaction of salary due but not paid, the effect would be there is a deduction of rupees 2,000 from capital because this is an expense. Expenses once incurred but not paid become our liabilities, but expenses must be deducted from the capital. So the old capital is 1,20,000 and after deduction of rupees 2,000 as an outstanding salary, the new balance of capital would be rupees 1,18,000. And there is another liability in the name of outstanding salary of rupees 2,000 will be added on the liability side. So therefore the final accounting equation would be rupees 1,75,000 assets is equals to capital of rupees 1,18,000 and liabilities of rupees 57,000. Dear students, in this session we have studied about the basic concept of accounting equation after revising about assets and liabilities. In this session we have also learned about the types of assets. We have also get to know about the effect of a business transaction over the accounting equation. Now it's homework time. Dear students, try to understand the basic concepts of this chapter. Then try to solve some illustrations, means some examples which are given in your book Double Entry Bookkeeping by T.S. Garewal. The name of the chapter is Accounting Equation, chapter number 5. You can also try to solve some questions from NCERT, and students write all this homework in your homework notebook. So this is the end of this session. So students, do stay home, stay safe, but study regularly. Thank you.